Are we on? I think we're on. Hey guys, how you doing? Chord Dave here. Saturday night, of course, for Chord Dave Live. I got a few stories we can chat about this evening, but if you got anything, leave it in the comments below. You do have to be subscribed to comment on the video because, you know, if you're not subscribed, you're not on the road to 5,000. And if you're not on the road to 5,000, you might miss out on the free guitar I'm giving away once I get to 5,000 subscribers. And I'm getting an ad on my own YouTube video, which is playing over there. Hey Al, nice to see you from New Jersey. Nice of you to join us for today. Thanks for popping by. We'll just wait for a few people to pop in. We've got 4 people viewing at the moment. And as I said, one of them was me. I'll just turn myself down here. Yeah, how's everyone's Saturday going? Mine was busy as it usually is, and planning a few videos for next week as well. And I started to get word from a few people that they have got their hands on the Epiphone Joe Bonamassa Lazarus guitars, which was exciting. And I tried to see, could I get one myself? And I could not. Not yet, but I do believe they're going to be available very soon. I'm thinking either next week or the week after, we're probably going to see those arrive in stores or be announced that they are in stores. So anybody excited for those? Anybody looking to pick one of those up? $8.99. I think they're actually a pretty good deal with the Gibson Pro Bookers, and basically they are a 1959 reissue from Epiphone, just with the different finish. So let me see. This is all up and running. Well, let me check one more thing. So, all right, guys, stories I got for you. Today we are going to talk about Guns N' Roses. They did officially announce that live stream. Hey, James, how you doing? Not live stream. They announced a 4-track EP, like Masha last week was telling us that they were going to announce it on the 1st of October. They did. I think it's disappointing, but we'll get into that in just a few minutes. Here on the stream, there's a new guitar pedal. I don't know if you saw this, you might have done, the fart pedal, and it's on Kickstarter at the moment. They were trying to raise, was it 27,000 euros, or $30,000 I think it was, and they're very close to it. It's kind of crazy. We'll get into that as well. Gibson prices, if you saw Trogley's Guitar Show's video this morning, yeah, the Gibson, you know, they're doing their thing and putting their prices up. It's what they do. We'll get into that as well. I got a story for you about Dave Grohl on UK TV this week. And then Mark Tremonti revealed which guitar he regrets selling the most of all the guitars he's bought and sold, I suppose, over the years. So it's interesting to think, have we got guitars that we've bought and sold again? But you know, it's one of those things where, yeah, I think we've all, if you've been buying and selling guitars for a while, there's always one you regret selling. I definitely have a couple, so we'll get into that as well. Yeah, James, you did mention, yeah, you're in the comments there, Gibson raised the prices again, and I guess it was inevitable with the stock levels as they are. Like, people are buying guitars faster than they can make them, pretty much. So Gibson's market is, I mean, it's a seller's market, guitars. That's what people are making a lot of money on reverb selling guitars as well. So they're buying to sell. And overall, it means if you're buying new, you're probably not getting the best deal. Because yeah, brands have been putting up. We saw this from Fender a while ago, where their lineups were increased as well. But Gibson have pretty much from $100 to $400. This is on their own website. I don't know whether it's going to be reflected in most stores. I know the only one I really checked this morning was Thomann, and they haven't changed their prices at all. In fact, I think they might even have reduced them a little bit. And of course, that comes into like currency transactions and exchanges and stuff like that. So it's a little bit difficult to know. But we do have probably a price increase coming when newer stock comes in, I suppose. So Al, you're saying you just got back from your local shop and they've increased the Gibsons as well. Yeah, even though they bought them before the increase. That's the thing. I mean, you know, these have been in stock, but they probably haven't been paid for. What they're probably doing is buying them on sale or return or whatever. So I'd imagine they've got like a 60-day line of credit. So if they've brought them in the last 60 days, they haven't paid for them yet. So Gibson are still jacking up the prices on them. That's how they do business. And yeah, look, the thing is with Gibson, my initial thoughts on this are, I am a bit of a Gibson fanboy. I do enjoy Gibson guitars. I'm a big fan of SGs and Les Pauls, as you guys all know. But I think if they're going to charge top dollar, which they really do want to, they really need to be upping that quality control and making sure that every guitar ships is in perfect condition and doesn't need to be brought back for repairs. Okay, look, not every guitar is going to be perfect when it arrives. There's things outside their control, shipping issues and stuff like that, damage that can happen in the warehouses, all that sort of stuff. But from a setup point of view, there's no reason why they can't be perfect leaving Gibson's factory. And they don't do that. So, you know, from my point of view, they need to really up their game if they're going to up their price as well. They also need to listen to their customers a little bit better than they do. But hey, that's just me. And we are, you know, we've all got an opinion on Gibson. And I think one of the stories that I have ready to talk about later will touch on that because, you know, they're the big boys. They're the big boys and everyone talks about them. Everyone, you know, knows a Gibson guitarist. In terms of that's why they get into guitars, like you know Fender and a Gibson guitarist, and you're inspired by those, and then you learn about other brands as you go. I suppose that's the story for like 80% of people. It's Gibson and Fenders they want to pick up. So we'll see. Hopefully, I actually don't know if they're going to do the same with Epiphone. I didn't stick with Trogley's video right to the very end because I had to go out this morning. But yeah, hopefully they're going to keep prices. Well, they've put them up on the Gibson. Hopefully, we're going to keep them on the Epiphone. I do know the plan is to gradually increase Epiphone's pricing anyway. So we'll see how that works out. And then the other thing that they're going to do is hopefully up that quality because, look, I've never actually had a problem with a Gibson or an Epiphone I've bought in terms of quality. But I know people who have. I've seen guitars arrive in terrible condition. And it's clearly stuff that, it left the factory not set up properly or not done properly. So that's a good point, Al. You can ask for a discount at all times from all sorts of retailers and so on. It's worth asking the question, usually there will be a little bit of leeway. I mean, there used to be back in the day, what's the best price you can do this for? When I was buying guitars, when I was like in my teenage years, I used to do that all the time. Like, what's the best deal you can do for me? I probably got like very little off at the time because I was a little teenager and they were like, whatever, dude, I'll give you €5 off, £5 off, and that'll do you. But yeah, it's worth asking because you don't ask, you don't get, to be honest. So definitely worth it. And as well, I haven't actually tried this in a long time, but you used to be able to trade guitars in at stores. There's no guitar store near where I live that I would shop at. So it's all online with me. So yeah, look, it's definitely worth it. There's ways to get guitars cheaper for sure. And of course, if you're selling one guitar to buy another, maybe you factor that into the price. Because at the moment, honestly, prices for used gear is pretty good. So if you're thinking of selling a reverb, it's worthwhile. So Guns N' Roses, we were talking about this last week that they had a new song, Hard School, newish song. And yeah, they announced a 4-track EP coming out next February. 25th, get my words right, the 25th of February. And yeah, I think that's crazy. We've heard all of the songs that they're going to put out on it. It's Absurd and Hard School, the two new singles that they're putting out. And then there's live versions of You're Crazy and Don't Cry. Big whoop. To be honest with you, nothing to get excited about. The fact as well, it's taking another 5 months for them to put this out. And I presume that's going to be on digital platforms. And then in the summer next year, June 24th, they're putting it out on a 7-inch vinyl. So kind of puts back the idea of them putting out a new album. So if you're a Guns N' Roses fan, there might be disappointment there. I see Al, you're saying the Epis are going up $50. That's disappointing, because again, that's a whole different structure with them. And as we talk about Gibson, they're not made in the same factory. They don't have the same costs gone up. But they do have increased shipping costs and stuff. So, but again, there's many, many more coming than there is Gibson. So it's spread out across many more guitars. That's disappointing from them, to be quite honest. But hey, I can't be surprised. Gibson, that's what they do. But as far as Guns N' Roses, so yeah, in terms of the 7-inch vinyl that they're releasing for this Hard School EP, 24th of June, that's going to be out. There's playing in Dublin on the 28th of June next year, or So they're telling us, of course, that's been cancelled the last 2 years for obvious reasons. And look, I was hoping we would have a lot of new music from Guns N' Roses by the time that gig rolled around. It appears we're going to have those two songs. One of them I like, one of them I don't like. You can make your mind up which ones. It's pretty obvious, I think. I think most people have the same opinion as me. So yeah, it's disappointing. So if you're a Guns N' Roses fan, I'd like to know your opinion on it, because they've been saying there's going to be new material out, maybe even a new album out by the end of this year, and now we're getting this EP. I think it's disappointing. So I'm a Night Train member because I want to get advance sale tickets. so that's the Guns N' Roses fan club, by the way, if anyone doesn't know. And you basically you pay extra so that you can buy pre-sale tickets, and you get a t-shirt or you get a hoodie or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I think it's one of those things with Guns N' Roses. I think they really missed it here, because people are dying for new music from Guns N' Roses, because we know all the old stuff. 2 live tracks, great, but do something that we haven't heard on live tracks a million times. Live covers would have been fun. They do a great version of The Seeker by The Who. I think I talked about that last week. So yeah, disappointed from that point of view, but definitely we'll probably still check it out when it comes out anyway. But I mean, Hard School and Absurd are on the likes of Spotify and Apple Music and stuff, so I don't know why they're bothering. Hey Scott, you're all the way from New York City. Well, nice to see you again. I think you were here last week. So yeah, thanks for coming back. Really appreciate it. We're talking about the Guns N' Roses 4-track EP. Bit disappointed. Let me know your thoughts if you have one. And yeah, we're going to talk a little bit more about Gibson and their pricing in a moment. Have you guys seen this one? Have you seen the the fart pedal that they announced? I mean, it's on a lot of the guitar news websites, guitar.com and so forth. It's a Kickstarter that's running currently, and let's see, the guy's name is Steve Gadlin, who describes himself as a serial silly projects guy. Apparently, he was successful on a show called Shark Tank, where he pitched a business called I Want to Draw a Cat for You. Which is fine. Look, he seems he's having fun, and that's the main thing. The guitar pedal appears to actually just make fart sounds when you put any sound through it. So I don't know. I laughed a lot while I was watching the videos on the Kickstarter page. Don't think I would ever be interested in investing in it, but let me know your thoughts on that one as well. Let me see, Scott, you're chiming in there with Guns N' Roses, yeah. You're either messing things up, will mess things up. That's what they do. You realize that's an unpopular opinion. Look, I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan, as I've said, and I always have been. I can tell you the first time I heard Guns N' Roses, and I can't tell you the first time I heard the Beatles, but I listened to them a lot as well. I can't tell you the very first time I listened to Zeppelin. I can't tell you the very first time I listened to The Who, but I know specifically the first time I heard Guns N' Roses. I've been a fan since I was like 8 years old. It's ridiculous. So I'm a huge Guns N' Roses fan, and I was hoping that, the whole Slash, Duff and Axl, and I got to say as well, people complain about Izzy not being in the band or Steven Adler not being in the band. And I'm not too worried about those guys, to be quite honest. And I really, look, they were fantastic in the Appetite days, yes, absolutely. But the reason I'm not is Richard Fortus is an unbelievably great guitar player. He was also in Thin Lizzy for a moment, so that's fun. But he's an unbelievable guitar player, and haven't seen him live with Guns N' Roses. Really respect him, and I don't want him to lose his job. Izzy could come on, and I wouldn't be disappointed, but I think Richard's doing a really great job. And Frank Ferrer, who's playing the drums at Guns N' Roses, he's a great drummer in his own right. He really does lead the show at times as well. He definitely keeps a balance in it. I would worry if Steven Adler came back into the mix there. Can he drive a show for 3+ hours? I don't know if he could anymore. I know you see clips of him playing Rocket Queen and stuff like that, and I don't know. Look, obviously, absolute legends, the two of them. I don't think it would be a good thing for those 5 guys to be in the same band anymore. I think those 3 that are in it work well together, and just about. And the other guys in the band are doing a great job. In terms of messing things up, yeah. I really do think. I think. Look, how long are they back together? Back together now. It's like 5 years, 5-6 years. I think that they're going to I think that they've dropped the ball. Like, they've been living off the ticket sales for a long time, and what they need to do is put out actual new music, something that nobody has heard before. Absurd we heard before, Hard School as well. So, we weren't supposed to hear them, but we did, and those kind of things. I would like Guns N' Roses to just be like, hey, here's some brand new, like, here's a brand new 4-track EP that you've never heard before, and it's whatever it is. Um, but yeah, planning a 4-track EP that's pretty much already out there for 4 months, 5 months, 6 months away. That's ridiculous. So I agree with you, Scott. They're messing things up a little bit. I don't know what they're doing with their shows and stuff. I know they cancelled a tour in Australia next year, because I have friends in Australia who, I don't know if they were going to go, but have gone in the past, Guns N' Roses. So I'm sure they're disappointed if they were planning it. I have tickets for next year here in Ireland. I don't know if I'll be getting to see them, but I hope so. I hope so. But yeah, better days for Guns N' Roses, I would hope for, but I'm not optimistic, to be quite honest. They do put on a good show. I like it. Ernie, nice to see you again, my friend. Yeah, don't worry about being late. That's all good. And you're going to have to leave early uh, to make up for it. All right, okay. Thanks very much, Ernie. I appreciate you coming. You just missed me going on a bit of a rant there about Guns N' Roses. Prompted by Scott, so it's his fault, I think. But thanks, guys. Don't forget, if you are watching and you want to comment, you do have to be subscribed. So just make sure you subscribe and then leave your comment, and then you can unsubscribe if you really, really want to. Yeah, the project guitars. The lighting makes it look good. But yeah, I'd really love to. I was thinking today, actually, how cool would it be to have another one, but in red, like a candy apple red with the gold stripe. So, next project guitar. We'll see. Scott, you're saying you're looking at Les Paul faded HP. Yeah, they're like the Les Paul Studios. Yeah, they are pretty much. They've got an all access neck. Excellent. Have I ever played one? No, I haven't. But I've played the Les Paul fadeds, but not the high performance ones. And it was a really nice. I mean, it feels nice in the hand. It feels pretty good. For me, it comes down to, like, I want a satin neck. And I don't want a gloss neck, really. Having said that, my favorite guitar is a gloss neck, so whatever. Don't listen to me, I'm just talking nonsense. But no, I think they're a great guitar, to be quite honest with you. I really do, and for the money as well, because I think they're. Am I right in saying those ones are closer to the €1,000/dollar mark? I think they're really great. Actually, been looking at something similar myself. But yeah, the Les Paul faded high performance. I'll look it up for you, and I'll let you know. But like studios, tributes, those kind of things they actually are really, really good. So yeah, definitely would recommend that. But let me know if you have a link or something to what you're looking at. Yeah, let me check it out. Yeah, Les Paul standards and customs tend to be expensive, and as we've just talked about, they're going up in price. We'll drop back to that topic in a few moments. But yeah, I think it's safe to say that it's a dick move from Fender or Gibson putting up their prices, but that's what they do, I suppose. So Ernie, they're saying that he's seen and played and almost purchased one. So there you go. Maybe a better person to answer your question than I. It says it's very nice. And yeah, one of those big aluminium cases. I do love those cases. I think that's one of the things they've done well over the years, Gibson. Their cases are always really cool. So definitely sounds like a nice guitar. And yeah, I was looking at a tribute. I'm specifically looking for guitars made in April of any year, because that's the month I was born, because I'm a bit of a crazy person. And it just means I'm kind of also telling myself not to buy something till I find one in there. So it's kept me from making any purchases in the last few months. But we'll see. Specifically, I am looking for a April 1982 guitar, sometime between next year and I suppose now. I'm going to try and pick one up. But yeah, again, it's very hard to actually know whether, like when you're buying online, whether they're good or bad. But if you're buying from a reputable dealer, they'll more than likely have a good returns policy as well. So if you don't like it in your hand, you can return it to them. So just if you are checking with if you're buying a new guitar, just ask what the returns policy is. Probably find that it's really good. Where were we? Oh, I suppose we could jump back into the Gibson pricing thing. Um, they are definitely upsetting people. Like I can understand it from their point of view. You know, timber has been more expensive lately. Shipping from the Far East and stuff has been more expensive, but their sales have been through the roof. So you think that would kind of make them just happy and balanced out. And also they're making huge margins as it is. Like, Gibson aren't doing this to make more money. Um, or sorry, they're not making it they're not doing it to make more because they've been losing a lot. They've been making more money for well over a year now than they had been. The guitar business has never been better. So you know, people are making guitars and they're sold already. So yeah, it's a bit of a dick move from Gibson. But look, it means that like stuff like these tributes and faded tributes and stuff like that, and the studios, they're getting a lot more attention, which is cool because they are really good guitars. I've always found that. The tribute SGs are really good as well. Um, oh, Ernie, thanks. Yeah, birthday month guitar is not crazy. Well, I appreciate you supporting my craziness. Yeah, getting one from January 1970 would be cool for yourself there. Yeah, yeah. I think I've been watching a lot of stuff about vintage Les Pauls and like 70s and 80s. And somebody on one of my videos recently said, "Oh, we're considering 1984 vintage now." I don't know how I feel about that. And the honest truth is, anything that's over 25 years is considered vintage essentially in the business, as far as I'm aware. And that means that we're pretty soon going to have guitars from the 90s that are considered vintage. So, how do you feel about that? It's not far away, but yeah, it's one of those things that I've always kind of been interested in owning a guitar that was older than me. And then as I'm getting closer to my 40th next year, I was like, oh, well, it'd be cool to have like a guitar from my birthday month. I've found a guitar. It's in France. It's a Gibson Les Paul Custom, and it is 1982. It was actually made 2 days after my birthday. My birthday was on a Sunday, so they weren't working. I don't know if they were working on the Monday, but I can't find any guitars from that day. But I found one from the Tuesday after I was born. That's as close as I can get. Now, the thing is, it's not in all original condition. So those customs should have Shawbucker pickups, and they should have chainsaw case with them. And what was the other thing that has changed? I don't know, but there's various colors as well that are more desirable than others. The one that I'm looking at is a natural finish. I was hoping it'd be a cherry sunburst because a couple other reasons. My very first ever guitar was a Les Paul that was a cherry sunburst, so that's why I'm after one of those. So it's a natural Gibson Les Paul custom. It would absolutely be the most expensive guitar I ever bought, but I've sold about four guitars. Yeah, four guitars, and have been saving for it for about a year. So I'm like, okay, I can do this and pull it off. But the guy is like, he's looking for top dollar for a custom from 1982 that's in good condition and all original, and he won't budge on his price. So I'm probably not going to buy that one. And every other one that comes up that I'm like, oh, I could just about stretch to that, it's like sells within a couple of days. So I don't know why am I talking about that, but birth month guitars, yeah. So that's what I'm looking at. So if you see anything from April 1982 on your rounds, give me a shout. Let me know. I would be very appreciative of that. Um, let's see. Let's just catch up on the old comments here. Al saying he's not familiar with the custom. The Sweetwater has the modern in a faded Pelham blue. Yeah, it's three grand now. The faded Pelham blue is a different thing. That's actually just the color that they're referring to rather than the finish itself. The color, because faded Pelham blue is actually like a more greenish color. But definitely, I didn't actually know they were doing the gives the moderns in a faded Pelham blue. I think that must be a Sweetwater exclusive. That would be cool. Could also spend 3 grand on that. As if Gibsons weren't expensive enough. Well, that is very true. Um, You don't think you could get a birthday guitar November 1950? You could never afford it. Actually, you can. I guarantee you can. It's just about expectations and what you want. I did a video a few weeks ago. God, I can't remember how long now. It's not that long ago, but about vintage guitars don't have to be super expensive. And like if you're not looking for, well, 1950, there wasn't many of them about, I suppose. So yeah. Um, Actually, that's a very good point because yeah, you'd be early Fender prototype situation there, pretty much. Um, I mean, there are jazz box guitars that pickups were put into, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. I still don't think it's. I mean, you're not in. The thing is, people think, oh, 50s or 60s, or even 70s. You're looking at the price of a car or a house or whatever. It's not true. There are bargains to be had for 50s guitars. You can pick them up under two grand, well under 2 grand. Same with 60s. It's just about expecting what you are, or knowing what to expect. You know, how keep your expectations at a good level. Earnings would after huge sales. Yeah, the huge sales here. Exactly. What I will say is though, the used market's going to explode because even though a lot of people have picked up the guitar in the last say 18 months, a lot of people have picked up the guitar and found it's really difficult and have not picked up their guitars and will be looking to raise money for holidays, Christmas, New Year's parties, all sorts of things. So there's going to be a lot of sales, people selling on Facebook Marketplace, on eBay, all that kind of stuff. So you might pick up a bargain there with people just looking to maybe make their money back or not realizing that they could sell it for whatever they have for a profit like 3 months down the line because nobody can buy guitars that they want. Good example is, let's say somebody last year bought a Joe Bonamassa Black Beauty. They paid 800 whatever it was for it. They might not be in the guitar community enough to know, well, those are selling for 12 or 1300 euros or more. I think I actually seen some listed for about 2000. There's always people who outlandishly price their guitars. But yeah, look, there's always people as well who don't know how much what they have is worth. And they just want their money back that they paid for it. So keep an eye on the used market. It's always worthwhile as well, with these price increases happening. Just hi to everyone. We have about 17 people in the stream at the moment. So just a reminder, if you want to chat, you have to be subscribed. Feel free to unsubscribe after commenting. That's absolutely fine. But you do have to be subscribed to chat. So trying to get the numbers up, you know. Um, Waiting until the global economy tanks. Yeah, Scott, thanks for cheering us up with that one. Yeah, you're sorry, I didn't see your comment before I said about the used market. It is going to be flooded. That's definitely going to happen, and it might not necessarily be when the economy tanks. It'll be before that, when people are just like, oh, I'm getting rid of this guitar I've had here for 6 months and I don't even use because I'm not slash after 10 minutes. Um, Oh, you had Al saying you had a Les Paul Deluxe circa 1973. Oh, but it was lost in a fire in 1974. Man, that is a sad story. The Les Paul Deluxe. I mentioned them in my video Sunday. Um, I think it was Sunday, was it? I don't know, maybe it was Wednesday. Yeah, my Epiphone video. I'm hoping Epiphone are going to do a Les Paul Deluxe. They haven't done one in 20 years. So that'll be super cool. I'd definitely look to pick those up if they do come out. But yeah, Les Paul Deluxe is one of my favorite guitars for the reason, it's one of my favorite versions of the Les Paul for the reason that Pete Townsend played one. When I first started getting into The Who, this would have been like in the mid 90s for me. So I was listening to stuff like The Who and Zeppelin and the Beatles and the Kinks and all kinds of bands. Like it's funny, like when you think of how you progress through how listening to one band got you into another and so forth. The reason I started listening to Zeppelin was because I was super huge into The Who, and I read an interview. I think it was an interview where Pete Townsend was saying how he influenced the name Led Zeppelin. I was like, I better check this band out, see if they're any good. Yeah, they were pretty decent. So, love to know how you got listening to some of your favorite bands as well. If you want to pop that in comments, or drop me an email or something. Emails are always in the description of the videos, and also just if you want to support the channel, so are links to affiliate links like Thomann and Amazon and things like that. You can always help out by just clicking on the link if you're going to buy something on Amazon, and you know, it kicks back to the channel a little bit. But yeah, that's a sad story about your Les Paul Deluxe, man. Those are cool guitars. Honestly, I really do hope that we get something from Epiphone in the next year or two from them. Hey Todd, nice of you to join us. Don't worry about being late. You know, we're going to be here a bit anyway, so a lot of fun putting up the spooky stuff to scare the neighborhood kids. It's like spooky stuff to me sounds like broken headstocks and stuff like that. So hey Phil, nice to see you here. James, you just bought a Tokai. And it's fantastic, excellent. Yeah, the only person I've really seen playing them is Shane. What's his the Australian guy, left-handed, Into the Blues. The great guitar channel, by the way, on YouTube. If you haven't checked him out, you definitely should. I should actually go through at some point some of my favorite guitar channels, just in case you guys want to watch other people on guitar. YouTube as it is. Yeah. The Tokais, those actually do look great. As far as I'm aware, there's different prices for them though, isn't there? There's like a high-end Tokai, and then there's a cheaper version. But both I've heard good reviews of, to be honest. I honestly think if Harley Bentons were more available in the US, like I know people in the US can order from Thomann, but it's a more difficult, like it has to go through customs and all that, and takes a long time. For some people, those are really good. I think they would trouble the Epiphone market specifically more than the Gibson, but there's a lot of brands that would trouble Gibson if they were more readily available in the US, to be honest. Okay, Al, you're just making us jealous now because you used your insurance money to buy a 63 Les Paul Jr. Wow, that's fantastic. Then you got a real job and it was under your bed. Yeah, that's the worst thing, isn't it? It's like, you have to go and do a real job, like we all have to do, and you don't get to spend as much time playing the guitar as you want to. That was my biggest problem for years. I was never able to dedicate the time. When I was finished work, I was always tired. And ever since I started working at home, which happened it was about 3.5 years ago now, I was able to spend more time because the guitar was always beside me. So that's a cool thing that I have going for me, and I'm really lucky in that regard. Let me see. So Ernie, you're saying that, yeah, now we've mentioned that you noticed recently that the used guitar market is starting to grow. It really is. Yeah, there's lots of cool stuff up there. I will say though, some people are really unreasonable with their prices. I've seen things selling for more than retail that are still in stock at most retail places. It's like, what? Do you think you're just gonna buy a guitar for, I know, $1,500 and immediately sell it for $2,000? That's not going to work, especially if Sweetwater or Thomann or wherever still have them in stock. So I've seen lots of things like that. Things like the Lazarus Epiphones that are coming out, the Joe Bonamassa's, they're going to be snapped up really quickly for a lot of reasons. Number one being that people who are fans of Joe Bonamassa and fans of the 1959 outfit are going to snap them up, and people who you know, want to buy an Epiphone Les Paul because there's a lot of places that can't get them in stock. But I've actually heard that they're hitting stores. A couple of people reached out to me and said that they had gotten them. One person, David, sent me an email or Instagram, was on Instagram, and sent me a picture of them. And yeah, he's got it in hand. Said it was a really nice surprise that he was offered it. So they're out there. I did hear, and this is why I didn't give a date in my video. I heard 1 week was the first week of October, and the second thing I heard was the second week in November. So I don't know when they're coming out, but they're going to be soon. But watch those prices, because when they sell out and they're not available, I reckon they'll be sold on the secondhand market for about $2,000, or for over $1,000, maybe up to $1,200. Let's see, I'm losing the comments here a little bit, so let me try and catch up for you guys here. You were playing the Deluxe last week at the Gibson Garage or Garage. Yeah, gas. Yeah, 2,600 for the Deluxe. I think that's a bit much. As I said, hopefully an Epiphone version will come down the line, because that should only, well, it should be a lot cheaper. In the Blues, yeah, that's the one. would love to get to the Gibson garage, but I have to leave my credit card at home. Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, just even I'm one of those people who would buy a lot of souvenirs, t-shirts and um, bottle openers and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, um, I would have to I'd have to leave it. The worst thing is it's all on my phone now, and like you can't. I mean, pretty soon, just as soon as you walk in the door, they'll just withdraw 5 grand from your account. I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. Your first favorite band was Kiss. Wow, that's cool. That is cool. My first favorite band, um, like that I was super, super big into, was not Guns N' Roses, even though I remember listening to them then. But I definitely, when I was like younger, I had some weird musical tastes. The first record I ever bought was Michael Jackson Bad. So tells you where I've come from over the years. um, you later discovered Alice Cooper. That's always an interesting thing when you discover the Alice Cooper band. Black Sabbath, The Who. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Gibsons and Fenders just kind of. I mean, I remember hearing Clapton play for the first time, and I was like, um, "What's this?" It was like, and that was in his Cream days. So everyone I wanted to listen to was well known for playing Les Pauls. So I thought I was a Les Paul player. And when it came to it, I was a bit snobby. I was like, oh, Les Paul's the best. And then when I played a Les Paul, I was like, oh, Les Paul's might not be the guitar for me. And then when I played my SG, the first one I got, the Gibson one, which I've now sold, um, I was like, I'm an SG man forever. SG love, gotta tell you. Uh, Getting further and further away from the point there. Um, what is the best way for someone in the States like you to order a Harley Benton? You've a great interest in them. Oh, well, it's fairly simple as far as I know, from Thomann themselves. And I have directly asked them because I was like, look, I have this channel. I'm always talking about Harley Bentons, and people are asking, can they get them? A lot of people saying that the returns process is the issue with them. But I honestly don't think they have a problem. I've worked with Thomann in terms of buying guitars for God, it must be 10 years now, and I've never had a problem with their customer service. They're really, really efficient and good. Just go to Thomann.com. There's a link in the description of all my videos, and they will help you out. So click the link, click the support button, ask them the question. They will ship to the United States. Now, they change it all the time, as far as I'm aware, and it depends on how much you're buying. Like if you're paying, I think it's $300. I think your shipping is it's really low. It's something I don't want to commit to it 100%, but I think it's like $60 shipping. But you can ship however many items you want at that. So there's whatever it is. It's like you can ship whatever many items you want. But yeah, Harley Bentons are great, and I've pretty much sold myself on the fact that I'm going to buy an SE. What is it? An SE 552 at some point. The red one with the gold hardware just looks amazing. So gonna pick that up. Artist Guitars, Phil. Yeah. Gonna be talking about them very soon on the channel because there's some very interesting stuff coming down the pipeline, I believe. But also there's some stuff that I think should be done. So I'm doing this series of predictions videos at the minute. I did Gibson last week. I did Epiphone Wednesday. Probably do Fender tomorrow. Might do PRS then midweek. I don't know if I'll do a separate Fender / Squire video because I don't know too much about what they're planning. So we'll see. But yeah, definitely artist guitars are really interesting. There's always that extra premium to pay as well, which makes it annoying. Hey Masha, and thanks for popping in. Don't ever worry about being late. I appreciate it. And then Phil's actually said it's $80 for the shipping. So there you are. I was a little bit off on it, but yeah, look, if you have any questions about Harley Benton or Thomann, as I said, I've always found them to be super helpful. They've even given me information that they shouldn't have given me at times. And yes, I've based videos off that information. But they're really, really nice people, the guys who work at Thomann. There's a guy, Matt, there, and he seems to just know everything. He knows everything. You can ask him any question and he'll be like, hang on 1 second, and he gives you the answer. So, and maybe they're all like that. I tend to speak to Matt. But yeah, what I would say with them is ask them the questions. If you have any concerns, like what if I need to return it? What happens there? They'll give you the full information. And as I said, like I've bought guitars and been like, dude, I just don't like it in my hand. And they've been like, no worries, send it back. And they cover postage. Now, whether that's just in Europe, I don't know, but they've always been super cool with me. So, yeah, ask them the question. Click the link. But oh yeah, James, you're saying there that you have a 2015 Gibson Les Paul Deluxe, and it's a great guitar. Yes, yes, I'm sure it would be. The 2015, it came in the gold spaceship case, I presume. Those are my favorite cases. I really want to get one of those cases, and I might end up buying a 2015 guitar just for the case. Hopefully get a nice guitar out of it as well. But yeah, those are cool. Hey Robert, you're saying the Sire Larry Carlton, the HB SE 550 or the Epiphone 50s and 60s. If you're asking me to choose for you, the only ones I've played the Epiphone 50s, which is unusual because I generally go for a 60s spec myself. I haven't played the 552 yet, but as I said, I am planning on picking one of those up myself. And the Larry Carltons I haven't played, but they look amazing. They really do. I think I think they're a little bit more expensive than the other two. And from what I've seen, people talking about them, they do appear to be better. So maybe it's because there's more money in them from the outset. But personally as well, like it depends. That I can't say without having played the SE 552, but when I plan to pick one up, because they look amazing. So I think they look great. So if you're going to pick between those three, I'd pick that one. So depending on colors and finishes and stuff and availability. Hail Mary Recordings. I gotta get you on a video at some point because you have told me about this guitar collection you have, and it just sounds amazing. So yeah, we gotta work something out there so we can talk about those guitars. But yeah, good morning from Hollywood, Los Angeles, or Hollywood, Florida. Let us know as well, because I know a little bit about Hollywood, Los Angeles. I've been there a lot, but Florida, never been to. So there you go. And then obviously the number one from Masha there saying hit the like button because it's worth helping other people find out the stream. So yeah, and you can share the stream to Twitter and your preferred social media. Exactly. Now last week as well you were saying I should set up a Facebook and a Twitter for the channel, and I'm going to do that. I was going to do it today, but time ran out, and I was like, oh crap, I've got 15 minutes to set up a stream. So I ran around trying to write down some stories that we could talk about. So yeah, anyway, guys, I do appreciate it. I appreciate all the likes, and if you do share videos and stuff like that, tell everybody, your friends and family, and promote the heck out of the channel. That would be super cool. But but no, I do appreciate everything, and Masha, thank you very much for always being very supportive. So Robert, you were now saying to me here, Gibson Les Pauls are expensive, but it's always your dream guitar, and I'll still look to buy one. Yeah, look, there's nothing wrong with that, and I do think that there's an aspirational point thing about Gibson Les Pauls. Like I will always be searching for that perfect Les Paul. As I said earlier, if you were here, I'm thinking about a 1982 Les Paul Custom at the moment. And that's more of a sentimental thing, which will, like every guitar I have, I always make sure to play at least once. So I put them in rotation. I'll play one per day or maybe two per day. And Les Pauls are awesome. They really are. And some of the best records ever made were made on Les Pauls. So there's nothing wrong with them at all. They are expensive, but I'll say, like, I'm justifying my purchase of whether I buy a custom or something else by selling like 4, maybe 5 or more guitars myself, and maybe some other stuff, doing extra work on the side and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, that's in the guitar money fund. So there's means and ways to afford these things, but that's that's up to you, whatever you want to do. Just don't sell your soul to buy one. But they are cool. Clapton and Cream turned you from jazz as a trumpet player to rock. Yeah. well, he'll do that for you. Cream was such a band. Ginger Baker, what a drummer Ginger Baker was. Like the the two best drummers in the world, in the history of the world, in my opinion, were Ginger Baker and John Bonham, obviously. So there's a lot of great other ones, but those two were phenomenal. So yeah, Cream would definitely turn you on to rock. I mean, Jack Bruce was great, Clapton was great. I mean, they were just great. Um, the first band you were nuts about was the Allman Brothers. They were a good band, pretty good. I forgot my beers over here, so excuse me for a moment. Yeah, yeah, the Allman Brothers. I mean, good friends with Clapton as well. So there you go. I'm gonna play on Layla as well. I know. Um, Jacob, hi, nice to see you here. Thanks for joining us. Do you think we'll ever get a higher end SG from Epiphone, like the Les Pauls in the 80 or 799, 899 range? Yeah, yeah, definitely. One of the things that we discussed last week was Epiphone's signature models. I think, yeah, because we were talking about, I was putting out the video for the Gibson predictions last Sunday, so I just kind of was talking about it on the stream, and a couple of the guys were saying it'd be cool if they did a Tony Iommi SG special on Epiphone. I think that is going to happen at some point next year. Might see it at NAM or the January area where NAM would have been, but yeah, there's definitely going to be something special SG wise. They might leave it until um, they might leave it until 62, 60, 61 reissue, 62 reissue. I don't know. What am I talking about? That's next year. I don't know what they're gonna do with it, but I definitely think there's. I mean, they did release like the whole SG collection last year. You had the standard with the vibratos and all the different options, the Maestro and stuff like that. Um, but I do like everything that they do. There's a high end version coming. Might be 2 or 3 years down the line, but their Epiphone will eventually have three tiers in itself. It'll have entry level, it'll have medium tier, and then it'll have signature slash high end. And those three, and that will go up to 12.99, and then Gibson will start at 14.99. That's the plan that's in place, and it's going to happen. This is what I've been told from someone who knows kind of. I can't say is part. They're not part of the Gibson family. They don't work for Gibson or anything like that. But that's what they've been told from someone who does. So it's like third or fourth hand information, but I very much believe it, and that's from what I've seen from the company. That's what I would expect them to do. To be quite honest. How is Epiphone ever done? Has Epiphone ever done an Angus SG? Yeah, I think they have. I'm not actually 100% if they have or not, but I think they did. I think they did one, but it was a small run. Signature models are more of a thing for Gibson and Epiphone right now. So you're going to see it. You're definitely going to see it. Um, I would imagine next year we'll have a lot more artist signature models, particularly when artists can get back on the road and play live again, because that's where a lot of artists like to play their instruments. And let's just put it out here, okay? I said it in the last stream. I've said it in a couple of videos. Slash has been playing an SG on tour for the last 4 years. Obviously, a year and a half that there was no tours, but he started in 2017 playing an SG live. I think it was on My Michelle. Could be wrong, I think, but he's been playing it on one song, and he's also on this new leg. He's playing his Flying V Custom, or is it the Flying V Standard? The one that looks kind of like you've taken a Les Paul and made it a Flying V, like flame top, cherry sunburst, Flying V. He's got that one out with him at the moment, and I wouldn't be surprised to see either of those become Slash signature models from Gibson and Epiphone. Um, Everything you see from Gibson in the future is going to come with an Epiphone equivalent like 6 months later as well. That's what I'm told. But yeah, Angus is definitely going to be part of it. Whoever the kids are listening to, I don't know. I only listen to music from the 70s and 80s. Uh, like if the bands were around in the 70s or 80s, or were members of Nirvana, I will listen to them, but that's about it. So that's not true. I do listen to kind of varied music. Um, I do listen a lot to 60s, 70s, 80s music. So you have said the Gibson Tribute and specials are available for 900 to 1,000, and they seem reasonable. So seem to be available for less on the Gibson Reverb site. Yeah, if I was going to buy a brand new Gibson, I would definitely check out their mod collection on Gibson.com and the Reverb demo shop. They have really good deals. And one of the things I've seen about the demo shop is that they give it custom shop level of attention to detail, because there is little things wrong with these guitars. So there might be some dings or some scratches, or they might have modified it from its original spec, something like that. So I think that's actually, it means that there are guitars out there for about $1,000 that are really good and well set up from the factory. The thing about it is they only ship it to the US. So if, like me, you live in Ireland, tough, you can't get them. But from the mod collection on Gibson.com, you can buy them. They just charge you $200 shipping. So it takes away the value of it. My first Gibson Sg, which I bought, I want to say 3 years ago, wasn't that long, yeah, maybe 2 years ago, cost me €600, and that was a brand new Gibson. So yeah, it was a 2018 model, which I bought in 2019. That's what it was. And that was part of the official line at the time. So they can make cheaper guitars. They just don't want to. Maybe I should get a preferred Thomann rep for viewers of the channel. I have spoken to them about that before, and they don't really do that kind of thing, they said. But yeah, look, because they don't have, it's not like Sweetwater where you have your same rep all the time. And I've bought stuff from Sweetwater before as well, and had it shipped to the US, so I know how they work their things. Thomann's very different, but like you can go on their chat and they respond to you very quickly. Now it's like Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, in German time. So that's an hour, I think, ahead of ourselves. So you got to be on the right times, but they're very responsive. If you want to message them outside of that, you just send them an email and they'll get back to you. Yeah, and the guys are great. They don't have preferred, but it doesn't ever hurt to say. I was watching Chord Dave's channel, and he said this guy would tell me, and they'll be like, I'm better than that guy, I'll help you. And Ernie, you'll use the link when you order Harley Benders. Well, thank you. That actually does. I do appreciate that. I just want to be 100% transparent on that. I don't get paid money by Thomann. If you use my link, what happens is they give me points, and I think, like, so let's say you spend €500, I get 500 points. And I think I need like 100,000 points before it makes any difference to anything. So, it's a very small amount, but every little helps, as a supermarket chain says here. So yeah, no, it's and also what it does is it makes them go, oh, this guy's getting us customers. And then when I call up and say, hey, tell me some information about that guitar that's coming out, they're like, okay, I'll give it to you. And yes, they do. They have done that in the past. Not saying which guitars. Slash wasn't involved. Maybe he was. Let me see. I think I'm getting some repeats here. Hey John, thanks for saying another great show. I appreciate that. I really do. Arts guitars are hard to get in the States. Plus, you can't get some models that you can in Australia. That's interesting, Phil. And I know I'm a little bit behind, so maybe you've answered this already. But from my understanding, it's harder to get certain models in Australia because I said I've been to Australia, saved a couple of mates of mine, did a really cool road trip a couple of years ago before all the madness. We went from Melbourne to Sydney, stopping at every pub along the way for one drink. Had some adventures on that one. I won't go into it. What I will say is I will never ever in my life have McDonald's breakfast every single morning ever again. Or have McDonald's breakfast ever again. To be quite honest, I had enough that week. Yeah, Todd agrees with Epiphone. I mean, you guys can see the comments, but like I'm just coming through them, so just gonna call them out. And again, thanks for commenting. Make sure you're subscribed if you want to comment, and feel free to unsubscribe if you don't want to be subscribed afterwards. But honestly, you'd miss out some great videos. I got some cool stuff coming in the next few weeks, and of course, when I do hit 5,000 subscribers, which what am I now? About 800 away from it. 5,000 subscribers is going to trigger free guitar release giveaway thing, so look forward to it. And it's actually look, it's not going to be that's mine, keeping it forever. And by the way, if you're out there, don't ask me to give you this guitar, okay? Loads of people have asked me, can they have it? No, you can't, it's mine. And I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But I said, it's doing its job right now. This is what this guitar does. It sits around and it looks pretty. And it does a good job of it. I mean, especially with this little light shining on it and everything, it looks pretty cool in the background. So let's see, James. So your best playing Gibson Les Paul is your 2000 Gary Moore signature. Plays better than my Gibson Custom Shop standard that you bought in 2012. Gary Moore was a great guitar player, wasn't he? Oh, he was just so good. I mean, he's up there for me in the top 5, and never gets removed from the top 5. It's unbelievable. Yeah, Gary Moore guitars would be great. And somebody mentioned the other day a signature that might be coming soon. And yeah, it looks that would be fantastic. One of my all-time favorite guitarists, and just love him to pieces. He's absolutely brilliant. Gosh, I've seen that comment so many times from other people. Sell the Marshall. You said it's crap. Yeah. My desk is a graveyard of purchases. My desk is generally and you can't really see it here, but generally this side of my desk is stuff that I need to get to work on. It could be guitar parts that I'm putting into another guitar. It could be pieces I need to write up. It could be story or video ideas or whatever. But yeah, over here is usually a big pile of paper that I try to get or things that I need to get to. There's things literally there for months most of the time. But yeah, my Gibson. I have been looking at other amps, my Marshall amps and stuff. Now, I don't want to spend too much on amps really, because I'm just playing for myself here, usually in my office. And I have a few pedals down on the floor there. Nothing spectacular. The best one is just like the most expensive one is a Crybaby. That's about it. But yes, don't buy a Marshall Code 25. Buy whatever else. I've been looking at the Marshall Origin. Anyone got one of those? You can tell me whether they're good or bad. Yeah, the worst thing about trying to sell that is I'd have to sell it locally because it's so heavy. I'm not a big fan of that Marshall Code. That's why I actually don't plug it in too often. The Gibson Les Paul is a gorgeous piece of art for sure, even if it's not the one you feel most connected to. Beautiful instruments. Yeah, that design that they came up with. I don't know if in the 1951, 1952, Les Paul and Ted McCarthy were saying, hey, this is going to be available in cherry sunburst and Pelham blue and all these amazing colors and all these different variations, and Floyd roses will be on them. And I know they weren't thinking that, but they'll have all these different styles. They thought like gold top and maybe a black one, but look at it now. I mean, the Les Paul's beautiful. The Strat's a great looking guitar. The SG is just amazing. Yeah, beautiful design. Al's gone for a beer break, or was when he wrote that message. Absolutely, that is a great idea. Yeah, Todd, I've seen Ginger Baker's daughter, Nettie, running the Facebook page. Yeah, at first I was like, oh, why is like this? Back when she started doing it again, I was like, how is Ginger Baker commenting on stuff? And yeah, it's obvious. You can tell that she really does love her dad and his career, and I see her commenting on quite a lot of stuff. It's just very cool, keeping Ginger's memory alive. As I said, like one unbelievable musician, one of the greats, and absolutely crazy. If you haven't read Hellraiser, I think it's the name of his book, you absolutely should. I do love a biography, by the way, if you haven't noticed over the last while. So let me see. The early 90s or the 90s and early Gibson, early 2000s were very good at Gibson. Yeah. That's from Sir Baron von Count. What a name. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. The 90s had some interesting things from Gibson. It was really only, I mean, to be honest with you, the Henry Juskowitz era just lost the plot in the 2010s. They just lost it. I mean, they bought speaker companies and everything. It was ridiculous. And that whole robot tuner fiasco. Now, funnily enough, I always mention that robot tuning thing, like, that was a terrible idea. I do want to own a robot tuner guitar for the reason that I want to have one in the future and be like, Gibson actually did this, and I have one. So, um, but yeah, it's they it was only really like, I think like a span of 8 years they kind of lost their way and were making all sorts of crap. Now they've made crap in the past, and some have been way better than others, but definitely they've gotten better, and they're making really good guitars now. They just, if they're going up their prices, they want to keep them good. Uh, Scott Bogfoot, good evening to you, sir. How are you? Well done for joining us. Well done. Thank you for joining us. What I meant to say. And you left a comment on the video for the Epiphones, asking about the Carina Flying V's and Explorers I was mentioning. Officially, they're not on the Epiphone lineup, the Carina ones. There is a 1958, which is available, but it's an ebony. And for the Flying V, there's an Explorer as well, which is an ebony. So specifically what I was talking about is like an Epiphone version of the 58 like package that they did. That's what I think would be cool. I didn't put it all in the video because I cut too much because there was when I do my videos, I go through and there's always stuff I need to cut out, like bits where I lose track of what I'm saying, or I start talking on a tangent about how Gibson should charge less money for things and so on. But yeah, I cut out too much for that one. But no, you're right. There are still places you can buy the last reissue of the Carina, Epiphone, Flying V, and Explorer. But officially from Epiphone, they're not part of the current lineup. So sorry, I actually meant to comment on that. I think I forgot to comment on your comment. Been a really busy week this week at work, and yeah, haven't really got to a lot of comments. So apologies if you have left a comment and I didn't get to it. Bob, nice to see you here. Thanks for joining us again. Speaking of Ginger and Jack, you've been listening to BBM, and I think they're better than Cream, or were. Well, that's a very good opinion. I mean, the great thing about Cream is that it was like a short period of time, and people, I mean, I wouldn't say people love them or hate them, but I think they go under the radar quite a lot. A lot of people, it's one of those bands that you get into because of other bands. And yeah, look, look, I'm not going to disagree with you, but I do think Cream are more, for me, a better band. But, obviously, you're well entitled to your opinion. Hey, John Spendley, thanks for joining us. Nice to see you. Another great Les Paul style guitar I bought is a Maybach Lester. Great playing guitar. Yeah, they look super cool. Hopefully, I mean, one of the things I was hoping to get my hands on at some point is one of those. Actually, yeah, the Lester. That's the exact one. So, yeah, someday, if I bought all the guitars or got all the guitars I wanted, don't know, there'd be no room for me. So, it's all good. Jacob, sounds like a long trip. The Melbourne to Sydney trip. Yeah, it was. It was three of us as well in a car for a week. 8 days together in a car. Yeah, it was honestly, it was one of the funnest times I have ever had. Like it's just amazing fun. A group of us have traveled to a lot of places together. Those guys are from Australia. I went down with to do this project with them, and it was so much fun. And yeah, Australia's a great place, from what I've seen of it, and which which was the pubs. Did stop off at some other places. Should share some pictures and stuff of that at any point, some other time if anyone's interested. Let me know. Oh, Phil, you were talking about Artist Guitars, which is an Australian company. Okay, that makes more sense. Sorry, I didn't pick up on that. Yeah, absolutely. Well, then in that case, yeah, you'd be able to get better options in Australia for sure. But yeah, I actually haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't heard of them, so I'll definitely have to look them up. That is something I'm definitely gonna do. Todd, free guitar at 5K. Woohoo. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I've decided what it's gonna be. I'm not gonna announce it until we do get to 5,000, but it is a cool guitar from a big brand, and it is gonna be shipped directly to you, brand new. Whoever wins it. So, you know, I do take bribes. No, I don't. I don't take bribes. Let's be clear about that. You don't want the chips, and can I send you the Epi SG? Yeah, no problem. Just send me, how much are they going for? 450 now? Send me 450 plus shipping, and I'll, and I'll send you a brand new one. No problem. My one is called Elizabeth, and just couldn't let her go. It's like my favorite guitar. Between that and my PRS, those two guitars, like when I was deciding, okay, I'm going to sell some guitars to buy my big purchase for my 40th birthday, I was like, well, what guitars can I sell and what guitars could I never sell? And what I decided was I could never ever sell that Epiphone SG. It's too good. It is too good a guitar. It's not the greatest guitar ever made. It's probably not the greatest guitar I've ever played, but something about it is special. And it's my favorite guitar. It's not the best guitar. It's my favorite. So, and that PRS is wonderful as well. So those are my two like number ones, my two number ones. So no one's ever getting them, but I wholeheartedly recommend them both. The Epiphone SG Special and Faded Pelham Blue, amazing guitar. The PRS Custom 22. Now mine's a special edition, and I saw a video, I think it was with the Zach Myers signature came out about Paul Reed Smith was looking at it, and he was like, oh, we've never done a matching headstock on an SE guitar. And I was holding mine that has a matching headstock. I was like, yes, you have, because I got one. It was a very small run, limited to Europe. It was like 144 guitars, 30 something in each color. I think it's 36 in each color. And I got one of the best ones. I think it's called the Mayo Blue. Absolutely amazing guitar. So yeah, those two, PRS Custom, SE Custom. If you get a chance to pick one of those up, try it. They're amazing guitars, really, really good. And that Epiphone's so good. I was so happy when I got it. I told you guys that the delivery guy just left it out in the rain. Yeah. I was at my desk working one day. I heard the delivery van, and I was like, oh, he didn't ring the bell. He didn't come in. He must have thought I wasn't home. I went outside like 2 hours later, and here's my guitar in the rain. Thankfully, Andertons had packed it well, so there you go. How about you sign the guitar and auction it off? This guitar? Ah, wow, no. Listen, nobody wants my signature. That only devalues the guitar. But like at some point, the channel hopefully will be big enough where I can do giveaways and stuff. I definitely plan to. You know, I really want to do that sort of thing. So I will definitely look into giving stuff away without my scribble on it. But for sure, that is a good idea, Ernie. And yeah, don't worry about it. Plans in the future for stuff like that. Scott, you're asking me, is there a Chord Dave Facebook page? Not yet. I mentioned earlier, I was gonna do it today, set up the Facebook page and a Twitter page, but time got away from me. So it was on my to-do list for tomorrow. So I will link that in videos from tomorrow. So most of my videos from tomorrow will have it listed on it, and should be putting out a video tomorrow as well, which I haven't got fully planned out. I'll probably do that tomorrow morning. And yeah, so look out for it then. I just ran out of time today, so but I do appreciate you asking that, because it'll be helpful to share videos and stuff like that. And you know, it'd be really nice as well if I launch a page, if you guys could all like it and subscribe to it, whatever the hell you do on Facebook and Twitter. I'm not the biggest social media guy, you might have noticed. So yeah, we'll get that done tomorrow. So there definitely will be stuff to share stuff out. Hey Joey, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Robert, as you mentioned, buying a new Gibson from the mod shop. What's the story on VAT and customs importing one into Ireland? Um, I haven't bought one from there yet, but from other guitars I've bought, it's whether customs decide to charge you or not. Um, for example, the Gibson, that one. Um, that arrived at the door. No charges were asked for at any point. It just arrived, just got delivered. So I think it comes down to if they decide to charge you for it at customs. I believe they will charge you 20, was it 23% of whatever the invoice says the price was. And if there's no invoice and there's contact details for you, they'll email you. If they can't email you, they'll send you a letter and say, please send us an invoice for this guitar, and then we'll tell you how much you owe. So for example, you buy something that's 1,000, expect to pay about 2,000, no, not 2,000, 200 or so, 200 to 300 on top. So what I always do if I'm buying from abroad, I always add for every 100 euros I'm spending, add 30 on top. That's pretty much what you're going to be paying, because that's the way it is. Yeah, which obviously if you're buying something expensive, something that's 4,000 or 5,000, you might be worth going over yourself and taking it home with you. I know that sounds crazy, but if you're going to save, if they're going to charge you, let's say you're going to buy a $4,000 guitar, they're going to charge you between 800 and 1,000. You can fly to New York you can pick up flights for like 200 each way. So go over, stay a night, come back, bring your guitar with you, and say you brought it with you when you come back in. Not that I condone that sort of thing, but yeah, I've bought all kinds of equipment back from travels and been like, I brought that with me. Yeah, that's my professional camera that's brand new in the box. Um, I've actually done stuff like that. I mean, I have not done stuff like that. Anyway, just be careful if you're buying it from abroad as well, that you get good invoices and information so you can share it with customs. But then you never know, they might just deliver it. It's happened with the Gibson. Did you guys touch on the price increases from Gibson and Epiphone? Yeah, we did. How much of a price increase? It depends. It's different models. A lot of them are going up between $100 to $400 for the Gibson, and I think it was Al said that $50 for Epiphones. So across the board there. So yeah, there's not a whole lot else we can say, but hopefully it just means that they're gonna up their quality a little bit, and like they're making guitars, but they can't sell them fast enough, or they can't make them fast enough to sell them. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, it's going to happen eventually. As we were saying as well, the used market is going to see a huge explosion at some point, because there's been 18 months of people buying guitars until there was none left in stores. Not everyone is picking up guitar and sticking with it and having it as their main hobby and buying 3 or 4 guitars. But you are getting people who are buying lots of guitars, like 2, 3, 4 guitars, and then being like, I'm not really into this. I'm going to find a new hobby, and then they start making YouTube channels and stuff like that. So yeah, there's all kinds of things that'll do it. Personally, right now, I think the used market is where everyone should be shopping. You'll get good deals, you will, if you're out there. Scott, you just bought a 2011 Marshall Class 5 head and reverb, 5 watts, dead simple. Let us know how it sounds. Yeah, absolutely, let us know how it sounds. I think I spoke last week about my luthier, because I'm fancy and have my own luthier. Martin from Menapia Guitars. I walked into his house when I got the PRS. It was October or something like that last year. And he has like a Marshall stack in his like living room, which I'm sure his wife really loves when people come to test out their guitars after he's worked on them. But I was like looking at it and I was like, dude, you're just gonna make me want to buy one of these things. And he did. And so far I have not bought one. So, but who knows what the future may hold. As I said, I'm selling all these guitars and working a bit extra on the side, trying to build up some money. Eventually, I'm going to buy something stupid with my money, because that's what I tend to do. But that all goes back to Marcia telling me to sell my Marshall Code 25 eventually. I think what I'll actually do is keep it as a backup. If I get really, really stuck, like, or I don't know, when my amps blows up. But I do need to get a small one. I've looked at the Spark. Has anyone played the Spark, the positive grid thing? I'm not so sure that they're as great as people are making out there. But let me know your thoughts on that as well. That'd be cool. Robert, thank you very much for saying you really enjoy the videos. I really appreciate it. That is super cool to hear. And, you know, my videos will not appeal to everybody. And that's for sure. And I get told that in the comments quite a bit. And I get told people like the videos. I appreciate it. Look, if you're putting out content, the honest truth is you're going to get negativity and you're going to get people who support you. And that's cool. You just got to deal with that. It's harder to deal with the negativity than it is the positive stuff. But I really do appreciate all the comments and all the support you guys have given me over the last, what is it now, 18, 19 months. It's super cool. And, you know, there's been times when I've been like, I don't think I'll make a video. And then I'm like, no, you know what? People like my videos when I put up a lot of the times. So I'm going to make the videos for the people who do care about it and want to see them. So I really appreciate all of that. So that's all. Just thanks to you guys for watching. Seems wrong to raise prices when sales are on fire. Yeah, we do. That is something that came up as well when we were talking about it, Marcia. I think the fact is Gibson are not raising the prices because they're not making money. They're raising the prices to make more money. Now, there's a couple of factors to take into consideration. The price of wood has been more expensive the last year, and delivery costs, like shipping costs worldwide, have been more expensive. But they've been selling a lot more, so balances itself out. In terms of, you know, Gibson's thought processes, I don't know. I just think, honestly, there are people who make guitar decisions and there are people who make money decisions, and I think they need to talk more to each other. And I think they would also, I don't think they'll ever do this, but I would like to see them do like a consumer panel, and we could all apply to be on it, and they'll pick 20 to 50 people and send us out an email every month. What do you think of this idea? What do you think of that idea? We're thinking of this, we're thinking of that. And look, nobody's ever going to say, yeah, raise your prices. That's a great idea. But they might not do other things, or be like, okay, if you're going to raise your prices, we want to see X, Y, and Z. So I don't think they'll ever do it, but maybe they'll start listening on socials and watching Irish people give out about them on YouTube. Who knows? I doubt it. And Todd, robot tuners are shite. Yeah, they are. I would never. I mean, what I would say is, I've never had a robot tuner guitar like the G-Force or whatever it's called. I want one kind of as a historical timepiece thing that I can keep and have in 60 years and be like, look what the idiots did. That's my that's my reason for wanting it. I don't really want it for robot tuning capabilities. I have one of those. My brother got me. Is it here? No, it's in another room. It's a little robot tuner thing. I can't remember the name of it. But I have one of those and I've used it a little bit, not much. Honestly, like every time I pick up a guitar, I tune it anyway. So most of my guitars are not so badly out of tune that they need it. Now, where they come in handy, where the thing comes in handy is when I change the strings. That's really good because then I can just pluck the string, put the thing on it, and it tunes it. And it's like, all right, that took like 10 seconds. Fantastic. But that's one of the things you put on the machine head itself, and it you know, goes around. But yeah, I only want the 2015 guitar for the craziness of it, and like I can't believe they did this. Like as a historical reference back in, like, I know, 30 years time, be like, look what they did. Whatever the equivalent of YouTube is in those days, in 30 years time, be like, look at my 2015 Epiphone or Gibson Les Paul with the robot tuners. Yeah, robot tuners. Of course, I know guitars will probably just magically tune themselves in those days. Um, Scott, you wish your 12 string was a robot tuner enabled. Yeah, yeah, that's where it would come in handy. My dad had a 12 string when I was a kid, and I never understood how to tune that thing. But yeah, it's one of the reasons why I wouldn't buy a double neck because with a 12 string, because I wouldn't know. Not only would I not be proficient enough to play it, I just wouldn't know what the new tuning was. It would constantly be out of tune. So that's that's it. Joey, prices on import products and parts are unfortunately going up due to cost of shipping and going absolutely apeshit. Yep. Uh, you're an incredibly small dealer in retail for PV and Tajima. Tajima guitars are pretty cool. Let's get my hands on one of these days. But I keep saying that. There's a lot of guitars I do want to get my hands on, but that is definitely something I want. But yeah, shipping is a cost factor that's definitely up, and raw materials are up. So Gibson sales are up through the roof. But look, it's not just Gibson who raised prices; they're all doing it. Fender did it a little while ago. I believe they've done it twice this year. So they definitely. It's not just Gibson. Let's just be clear on that. I'm not just bitching about Gibson for the sake of it, but I just do like giving out about them as well. Gibson fanboy who likes to give out about them to keep them on target. I think that's how you describe me. An Aria Pro 2, those are cool. Anything that comes into this country on a boat through the ports is going to see an increase. Yeah, that's very true. The global shipping situation making things awkward. Supply chains are messed up all over the place, and that means more money. A lot of companies have been good in not passing on the costs or not letting you know that they're passing on the costs, but when they're so deliberately saying, "Hey, we're going to charge you $200 or $300 extra dollars or euros or whatever," um, people just get angry about it, and there are clever ways to hide you're increasing your prices. Hey, we're bringing out this new model. It's got like this new feature that's costing us $5, but we're charging you 300 for. That's what you should do, Gibson. James, you have been watching my channel for a while now and finally subscribed. Yay, thanks, James. Yeah, listen, every number that goes up on that subscriber count means an awful lot to me. The one thing I will say, I know nobody's asked me about YouTube tips or anything, but one thing I'll say is when I started YouTube, I thought it was going to be a lot easier to build numbers than it is. And I think a lot of people have that perception, in like 3 months' time, I'll have 1,000. In 2 years' time, I'll have 3 million subscribers. I didn't quite think that, but I did think, oh, this guitar channel has like 30,000 subscribers. I'll get to that in no time. And it's a lot of hard work and trying to figure out what works, what doesn't work, what videos work, what videos don't work, what you've done right, what you've done wrong, how the YouTube system works on your side, and what videos editing and stuff like that works for you. So, for me to get to where I am now, and I really do consider myself lucky to have you guys watching all the time. I'm very appreciative of it. And yeah, every subscriber means a lot. So thank you for subscribing. And if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, just hit subscribe and then you can comment on the video. Somebody said to me that I ask people to subscribe too much on videos. They said I was harassing them by asking 4 times in a video. So sorry about that, but it was unintentional. And please subscribe. Declan, you would love to see Gibson and Fender drop the Epiphone Squire branding and use the parent company name on more affordable ranges. Worked out great for PRS with the SE line. It's an idea, and I think Scott is quite right that they're too arrogant, especially with Gibson. The point there being, Gibson will flat out tell you, we're the aspirational brand. We're the one you kind of work towards, and maybe after many years you can afford. And in the meantime, play an Epiphone. And I don't think that's a consumer-friendly point of view, but that's where they are. At least with Fender, you've got Fender made in Mexico, where you've got really good quality product coming at the moment, and you still got the Fender brand name. You also have where they've done the crafted in Indonesia, crafted in China models, And then of course you got made in Japan. So you got all these different actual Fender products that are made all over the place. It's a whole. I mean, I think Fender do a lot of things really, really well that I wish Gibson would copy. And then there's also there's also a little bit about Fender that I wish they'd copy Gibson a little bit. I might make a video about it someday with things that they should copy off each other. But when it comes to Gibson, yeah, look, they're not going to ever drop Epiphone as a name. Apart from anything, it's well established now that Epiphone is the cheaper version of Gibson. It's like the cheap brand of Gibson. I think what their focus is, and this is genuinely what I've heard from people who know people and stuff, is that they want to make Epiphone guitars really, really good, but they want Gibsons to be a lot better. So when you make a step up finally from Gibson or from Epiphone to Gibson, you feel like it was worth the step up. It was worth the extra money. At the moment, I honestly think there's a lot of people who think my Epiphone is as good as or better than my Gibson. I'm one of those people who had an Epiphone and a Gibson Sg, and I was like, I can afford to let go of the Gibson because I have the Epiphone and it's a much better guitar. Now, when I picked up the Gibson, I was like, this is a great guitar. And I'd pick up the Epiphone right after it and be like, this guitar speaks to me more. I feel like it's a better guitar than that one. So there's going to be, it's basically going to be two tiers. So as I mentioned, there's going to be the three tiers within the Epiphone, but Epiphone is the first tier. And then Gibson will have its tiers and it'll be the second tier. And very much they want to progress you from, you decided you want to learn guitar, you come into Epiphone, you go up and you go up, and then just give them all your money. That's what they want. But yeah, Scott makes a good point. They are too arrogant in a way. It's kind of like, we're the big boys. It's like, you're only the big boys because in the 50s you guys made the company made great guitars. None of those people are still there. So anyway, it's a whole other rant. Maybe tomorrow's video will be Gibson rant number 427. Who knows? So let me just catch up again. So yeah, Joey's like, yeah. Oh, Joey's made a comment and Martian responding. No, there's a problem with brands getting parts. Yeah, you can find other ways. That's very true. Yeah, you want to see my PRS? It's in another room, but I'll bring it on the show next week. There's a video on the channel about it. It's a beautiful guitar. Again, look, I'm going to do live streams for a while until you guys tell me you don't want them. And you can tell me by not turning up as well. That's true. We'll definitely do that. If you don't turn up, I'll be like, I'm not going to do a live stream. But I'm enjoying it. I really enjoyed last week. I'm very nervous about it last week, very excited about it this week. So thanks to all of you guys who've come up. 24 people watching and 21 likes. That's a really good like to view ratio. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I'll bring out the PRS for you though, Ernie, next week for sure. We'll see. Nick has said hello. Hello. Joey, you said you got an Epiphone Les Paul Alex license signature last week. Awesome. Yeah, awesome guitar. And then he needed some work. Did you the Ghost Tremolo bridge was rubbing against the body and the piezo control pot was faulty. What do you think about piezos? I'm not sure it's something I used to think it was something I would want. And a guitar like that, the Alex Lifeson, yeah, I mean, it's a great addition to have. I just don't think I'd ever use it, to be honest, yeah, I know. I wonder if I'd ever use it. I don't think I would, to be honest. But yeah, let me know. And I know I'm behind on the comments. Sorry, guys. I'll try and catch up here. Go through them a bit quicker. Let me see. The double neck went up 1,500. Did it? Most or less, but still considerable markups. Trogley went over all of them as blasphemy. Yeah, I like Trogley's video. I didn't get to see it all though, so I missed that point. That was wow. Scott Brower is signing off. Please keep doing the live chats. I will, Scott. Thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. Maybe you're catching up. I think you probably logged off at this point, but thanks so much for joining us. Really means a lot. Nick, you said you got your Gretsch with one hell of a bus. Train. Yeah. Sometimes you got to go far to get your guitars. That's for true. You know, I've never bought a guitar in the States, but I have bought them on travels to buy them. People have traveled to me to buy them, stuff like that. A fella come from the other end of Ireland to pick up that Gibson Sg not so long ago. And that's not that far in comparison to some places in the world, but literally, um, it was like he was going towards Dublin, which I think from his home was taking him 2 hours, and he came another 2 hours down to me, and then 4 hours all the way back. Some of you might be like, that's a short trip, but in Ireland, that's like the whole country. So, uh, yeah, you sometimes you just got to go tripping to get your guitar. Wait, that sounds like something else. um, all right, so Joe, yeah, don't like raising the prices, but yeah, the first place the company recruits is the ender. That's true. Yeah, the prices are terrible. Phil, you're very welcome for the stream. Thanks for joining us. I really, again, really appreciate it. Um, yeah, so you guys are having a nice conversation about the pricing and stuff in the chat there. Um, absolutely. Let's see. Jamstack modeling amp is coming soon. Gonna be much better than Gen 1. Well, that's good to know. 30 watts with two 2.5-inch drivers and a preamp. Tons of features. I actually don't know much about that one, so Jamstack 2 modeling amp. I'll check that out later, to be honest. Well, tomorrow, Sunday morning, I just have a ritual where I get up, make myself a nice coffee, and sit there looking up guitar stuff. I mean, I look up guitar stuff every day, but Sunday morning, I just sit there right at the computer, just looking up, like I go through Reverb with a fine tooth comb, looking at stuff, tempting myself to buy stuff. And the last time I bought a guitar was, oh, it was months ago. It was a long time ago. It feels like a very long time ago. Um, yeah, I can't remember, but it was. It seems like a long time ago. It seems like too long ago. But at the same time, I was on a video call with my boss a couple of days ago, and I had two guitars over there. And he said to me, "Oh, you've got two guitars there. They look great." I was like, "Yeah." I reached over and picked up my Harley Benton and was like, "Yeah, but this is the other one, and there's another two in the next room, and there's another one next." So I don't know. I think it maybe there is an actual addiction to guitars, and we should all seek treatment. I should for sure. That's the thing. Travis, no pressure, but we look forward to your videos. Travis, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Or I really, really do. As I said, the positive comments and the community that's on this channel, fantastic. Honestly, couldn't ask for more. So it's for you guys. Everything I do is for you guys, and hopefully I can do more as time goes by. Okay, Masha, you have a referral link that will get you guys a great deal and help you earn some commission. You can't post the link here, else YouTube will delete it as spam if anyone wants to comment here. Yeah. Masha, tell you what you do. Email me that link. My email's in my email or on my description all the time. Email the link. I'll post it for you on the videos. Not a problem. Happy to do that because I appreciate your help and support on the videos. So email me that link. The email is always on the bottom of the description. Okay, so that's for the Jamstack 2, right? That's why I have a business model and ethics to do free gig bags. Ooh, free gig bags, everything set up, polished. Joey, where's your shop? Because it sounds awesome. That's, yeah, absolutely great. If I can treat everyone like friends and family and not just a sale, then I'm under the delusion that I'm... Joey, that's how you do business, and that's absolutely, look, the gurus and stuff will tell you that's not how to do business, but I think that's I would come back to your shop if that's how you are treating customers for sure. That is brilliant. Let us know where you are and maybe we can send some people your way. Definitely love your approach there. Let me see. Todd, you'll amass a good following like you're going. I appreciate that. I used to anticipate Trogley posting new content. Now look for your stuff. That means a lot, Todd. Thank you very, very much. You know, you've left me speechless. No, thank you. Appreciate it. You guys are awesome. and Joey, I just even said that to you there, and you had already said contact you if you want to work at a Tajima for the channel. I take proper care of you. Look, all right, look, I'm going to write down your email address there, and we will definitely get in touch with you and see what we can do here. So let me just do that. Yeah, I'll pop you an email during the week there, Joey. Thank you very much for that. Let's see what we can do. But yeah, definitely let us know where your shop is as well in the comments here, because I want to give you a shout out there just in case anyone's nearby and they don't know. That jam stack looks cool. You're saying it. I definitely have to check it out and see. Local shop has Tajima Strat style right now. Pretty good guitar. The only thing I've seen about the Tajimas really is Phil McKnight talking about them, and he seemed to think that they were fantastic. So he knows his gear, as you know. Pretty good guitar. Yeah. Jacob, Epiphone has also been its own brand, technically been around longer than Gibson. Yeah, a few months ago, I made a video about the Epiphone Casino, the new USA made ones, about how I wasn't a fan of it and of the concept of Gibson putting an Epiphone headstock on essentially Gibson guitars. And I had to remove the video from the channel because I got so many comments from people, aside from calling me an idiot, telling me over and over again about the history of Epiphone. I was like, I know the history of Epiphone, and it's a great history. They have some brilliant models by themselves, some wonderful guitars that they've, had always built. I mean, the Beatles played original Epiphones, and those are the ones, ironically, are more like the Chinese ones that are being made now than the American ones. Whole other story. Yeah, Epiphone in its own right is a great brand and has been, but Gibson bought them, and they were ascend. And I did make a video about this. Gibson couldn't. They had specific deals with music sellers or music stores in certain states, and that prevented them from selling their guitars then in other stores. And more guitar stores opened up, and they couldn't sell Gibsons, and it kind of killed the market in certain places. So what they did, because they bought out Epiphone, they were like, well, we'll put out similar models with Epiphone headstocks, and there'll be Epiphone guitars. And they were a little bit cheaper, but they were still actually made in the same factories. And those were very popular because they were essentially the same guitars, but a little bit cheaper. And that's how Epiphone became the cheaper version of Gibson. And then obviously in later years, they decided to make Epiphones abroad rather than cheaper Gibsons. It's a really interesting story, actually, if you look into it. As I said, I have a video on the channel there about it. Very quick history is kind of what I did, but there's a huge amount of information out there. Really, really great stuff. And I'm getting behind on comments again, but yeah, Todd, you're absolutely 100. Was it Todd? Jacob, you're 100% right. Yeah, like what I would like from Epiphone. You're saying that they should keep the Epiphone name. Absolutely. What I would like them to do is have just basically be a mirror image at this stage, but also have the original collection of their own stuff, but also be like, if there is a Gibson guitar that's $4,000, it's available for under $1,000 on Epiphone. That's what I think they should have always been doing, but kind of got away from that. What made me decide to start a YouTube channel, and where do you want to take it? Are you aiming to be the Irish Trogley? Well, no, I don't think you could be the Irish Trogley. I love the Trogley's Guitar Show. I'm a very big fan. I've learned a lot watching his videos for sure, and I couldn't replace him. I couldn't be the Irish one. I'd love to work with him, do a collab or something. So Austin, if you're out there, let's do it, man. Let's do a collaboration. I'd love to. Okay, why did I start the channel? I've always been into video production, did some films and stuff when I was younger, and yeah, like I'd always said, oh, I'm going to start a YouTube channel someday. And my brother and I started a movie review channel like back in 2009 or something, and we kept at it for a year and then we just gave it up. We started we, we've always kind of been like, oh, we're going to get into YouTube at some point. And last year, pandemic and stuff was coming. I started my channel. I'll tell you why. A friend of mine was like started their YouTube channel, and I was helping them learn video editing because I had a good understanding of it. Just I was teaching very basics of iMovie, and I was like, you know what? I'm enjoying this. I'm going to make some videos and put them on YouTube and see where it goes. And I spent about a week saying, oh, what will I call my channel? And I came up with all kinds of stupid names. Guitar Dave was the first one I was going to go with. Um, the channel was going to be called something ridiculous like um, Rock Guitar with Dave, or I had some really bad ideas. And then I literally woke up in the middle of the night one night and was like, Three Chord Dave, because I'm kind of making fun of myself, and so nobody else can. How wrong was I? Where do I want to take it? That's a good question. And Robert, thank you for that for those questions. So, in one of my early videos, I specifically mentioned I would love to. I just wanted the channel to get big enough to go to NAMM one time, and I believe now I could get a pass for NAMM. So, because as you know, NAMM is invite only. It's media and people from the guitar business or music business. So that was my goal: get a NAMM registration, and also like stretch goals. If I could make videos like with companies, so like some companies would send me free guitars because I am a guitar addict. So if they if I could get guitars for free to review and promote, I would love that. Who wouldn't? So that was on my mind as well. But more, I just wanted to like I was looking up all this information. I was getting information because I was reaching out to friends and people in the biz and stuff, and I was finding out things. I was like, it'd be cool to tell people this, and I guess that was also part of my thinking for starting the channel. Where I'd like to go, I know somebody asked me recently, like, do I want YouTube to be my full-time job? Do I want to make money from it? I don't know if that's ever going to be possible. Um, I suppose it could be. Yeah, would be great to be a full-time YouTuber, I guess, just make videos about a subject that you love. Um, it would also mean probably my workload for YouTube would increase like 5 times. But that's good because it would be something I enjoy, and it would be on my own schedule. So that's probably the ultimate goal, to make enough money per month to pay rent and bills and everything. So far, and I'm going to be completely transparent, so far, I make about €70 a month on YouTube. So from AdSense and stuff like that. So it's a long way off. It's a long way off. But at the moment, I make videos, as I said, for you guys because I enjoy the interaction. I enjoy talking to people about guitars. And actually, these live streams have been a lot of fun. So last week, I was very nervous and didn't know what to expect. And this week, here we are. And I just looked at the clock and we're almost passing the amount of time we spent last week as well. So it's been a lot of fun. And yeah, as long as it's a lot of fun, keep doing it. So thanks for that question, Robert. Appreciate it. Todd, you say your Epiphone G400 SG, the Korean Samick factory from 2010, is far superior to the Gibson Sg Special I was considering. The G400, they had some really cool runs of that. I think it was the Korean ones were really good. Um, the man who loves to hate to love Gibson. That's actually, yeah, I might put that as a channel tag for. Yeah, what I always feel is like people, I think people, and I've had comments sometimes where people have said, oh, you just hate Gibson because you can't afford them. It's like, that's funny because I have a Gibson, or had a Gibson guitar sitting there. And, it's not that I hate Gibson. I'm actually a fanboy, and I look to Gibson first before any other guitar brands, really. But that means I hold them to a high standard and I want them to be Like I want them to live up to the reputation of my favorite rock stars, who I hold in this high regard as like, supreme beings almost. Um, Although I've read a lot of their biographies, and I'm like, how are these people still alive? Um, like when it comes to reading, I read a lot of biographies, and like it would be my favorite subject matter is biographies of famous people, like musicians, filmmakers, authors, comedians, that kind of thing. And I have to say, like honestly, my favorite biography is Duff McKagan's. If you haven't read it, just read it. It's great. My second favorite is Tina Fey's one. If you like comedy, Tina Fey's autobiography is fantastic. I think it was called Bossy Pants. It's a great book. Anyway, enough of the book recommendations from the Guitar Channel guy. Um, Let me see. So yeah, you guys are talking about Joey. You said you have a 2003 Epi Zac and a 2001 Red Sparkle. Nice. They're amazing guitars for their price point. The Lyson is the second Epi this year I bought that needed work. Ghost Horse has been a B stock at best. Yeah, I haven't heard great things about that, to be honest. James is in with people can bitch about Gibson prices, but they hold their value very well. 2011, I bought a Gibson traditional Pro Explorer for $13.99. I use it all these years and get to sell it. Yeah, nine. Yeah, that is actually very true. Gibsons do hold up their value. I sold my Gibson for a profit, my Gibson Sg, and that's because it was worth more than I'd paid for it, and it's very true. Gibsons generally will hold their value a lot better. There's very few that don't. Don't expect to make big money on them, but I mean that's a good return. 1950 for something you sold or you bought for 13.99. It's a really good deal for you. But yeah, they do hold their value. That is correct. Piezo electric bridge is neat, but not necessary for me. Mostly a metal guy. This is Joey. It's a great toy and awesome bridge. Graphtec parts. Graphtec, yeah. I mean, from never changing a note, it's got to be a Graphtec, so for sure. Scott, you're saying you're enjoying the live vids. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. When you get the Facebook page of I'll Bug, I got a ton of guitars that I think you'd be into as conversation starters with your followers. Excellent. Yeah, look, I'd love you guys to get involved and stuff like that. If you want to send me pictures of guitars, you want to talk to me about guitars or give me stuff for videos, absolutely, yeah. Just drop me a line, email, Facebook page when that's live, Twitter as well. As I said, I'm not the biggest social media guy, but I will definitely try. See how long that lasts. And people who know me in my personal outside of YouTube life will know that I don't do socials very well. My YouTube, not my YouTube, my Twitter. I had tweeted I can't remember, it was a couple of months ago now. I looked at when was my last tweet. It was like a year ago, almost to the day that I checked it. My tweet before that was a year before it. So I don't do social media very well. I don't really I'm more of a consumer. Like I'll go on and read the news and check out things that I want to find out about, but I don't really share stuff too often, which is weird because I then put out all this information on YouTube. So, I'm a conundrum. Joey, sincere word of thanks for your stream today and your videos. You were the one that I chose to make a decision on whether or not to buy the Alex the Epiphone license video. Thank you, Joey. That's really nice to hear. I appreciate that. Feedback like that is unbelievable. So thank you very, very much for that. Marcia, you're going to send me that link. Awesome. Yeah, I'll get that in. They're kind of bad like that. YouTube, they delete stuff even if you want it. Even if I want it there, I should have control over it. I should be allowed delete it, but that's fine. Send me the link. Thing is, that email, and I think I check it like a couple of times a week, so I'll try and pop it on videos tomorrow, but I'll definitely pop it in for you. And guys, if you are interested, check out Marsha's link for that, the Jamstack tomorrow, from tomorrow on, hopefully. You're in southern New York, a town of Barton. That's for Joey. Okay, guys, Joey has his shop where he's telling us he'd make sure your guitar is looked after and perfect for you as you're leaving the store. He is in the town of Barton in New York, and he also has a reverb shop, so you can buy from him there. definitely want to give him a big shout out there for that. So check it out. I will also be chatting with Joey very soon, so we'll make sure to give information. But he does say to get a hold of him, Google For the Love of Guitar in Barton, New York. Mention 3-Chord Dave, and he will give you a funny look, I presume. I presume he's going to say give you some favorable treatment, because that's what he should do. Everyone bombard Trogley's with a demand to do a collaborative with Dave. Yeah, Todd, that would be sweet. You know what I want to do? What I'd love to do is interview the people who do big guitar channels. The guy, what's his name? It's completely lost my name. Music is Win. That guy, Tyler. I'd love to interview him about his guitars, how he got into guitars. He's already done videos about all this, but I'd like to do it because I haven't watched all of his videos. But I'd love to talk to him. Philip Knight, love to talk to. Who else I watch? Robert Baker. If you guys don't watch Robert Baker, that guy is brilliant. I love all of his videos. He does guitar giveaways nearly every week, so you should watch him. I guess I'll just do like some YouTube channels you should watch, or that I watch and wish everyone else did. Robert Baker's great lessons as well from him. I'd love to interview people like Trogley's, obviously. Would love to interview him. There's a great guitar channel. I don't think it's a new channel, but they're kind of ramping it up lately. The Guitaristas from the UK. You haven't seen a deep dive into guitars until you've seen their videos. They're amazing. Really, really good. Chatting with them on some comments there a little while ago. Those guys are really great. I'll pop a link to them in my video tomorrow as well. I love them. Actually, you know what? Maybe would be worthwhile doing like a video, YouTube channels. I like watching video. I don't know if that's the thing anyone would be interested in that. But yeah, that's a great channel. But yeah, any of these big guitar channels, like I watch a lot of them. Philip McKnight, did I mention him? Love to talk to him. All these guys. There are people who have big guitar channels I'm not really interested in, because I don't want to name names, but there's people I feel they only review products that they get paid for, and it's a making a living thing for them. And fair play to them. That's fine. But people who don't give honest opinions, I don't appreciate that too much. And there's people I think, they do great work, but they don't seem too exciting. Again, no names, but I think a lot of people probably know who I'm talking about in terms of the reviews anyway. Let's see. Get back into the comments here. Stop with the waffle myself. People really shouldn't bitch about Gibson prices. Japanese guitars are more money. New ESP Eclipse guitars are $3,500 to $4,000. Wow. Look at how much used Japanese guitars are. That's a good point. Gibson are not the most expensive, and they do have a history of being expensive for what they are, but yeah, there's definitely more expensive guitars out there. Japanese guitars are amazingly well made though. So every Japanese guitar I've ever had in my life was awesome. There was one. It was the Fender Troublemaker Telly. And as you guys know, I did have some issues with it and sent it back. There was an issue with the pickup. But aside from that, like in the hand, the feel of the guitar was unbelievable. Joey, give me a referral code. We'll take care of you as well. Listen, there's no need to do referral for me. I am happy to support small businesses, absolutely, and I especially like people who do take that extra step to take care of their customers. And you seem like a genuinely nice business person who's looking after their customers. And if I help you, it balances out the fact that I work for an evil corporation. So it's all good. Yeah, ESPs you're saying are astounding. Yeah, they're really ESPs are great guitars. I've only ever played one, but it was a nice experience. Let's see here now. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so Marcia, you're saying reviews are useful when they're honest, and channels doing them need other content. Yeah. When I there's some people I watch on YouTube, and I'll watch their regular content, And then when they do a review, I just don't watch it. Or, you know, they'll do review sections of a video and I'll just fast forward it because I know they're just getting paid for stuff. Now, look, I can't talk about guitars and brands that I've never played myself, but there's a few brands have popped up on YouTube, and everybody who has them is like, "Oh, this is an amazing guitar." It's like, is it? Is it really? It's like it's $100, but it's as good as a $4,000 Fender custom shop. Come on, give me a break. So, you know, Casino guitars. Yeah, mentioned them last week. Love those guys. Um, what I like about those guys is um, they just sit there and they talk guitars, and that's what I do. So I just sit around talking about guitars, and people watch it. So it's impressive to me that they manage to pump out as much information as they do and as many videos. Love them. I'd love to talk to those guys as well. Yeah, absolutely would be one. Uh, yeah, you mentioned one of the guys has a connection with Ireland and mentions being here quite a bit. I haven't actually, maybe I missed that, but yeah, have one of their t-shirts that I wear on a regular basis. They make good t-shirts. I hesitant to say stuff like this, but I do buy YouTube merchandise from time to time to support channels that I like. Philip McKnight, I bought one of his t-shirts, and it lasted about a month before all this stuff came off, and is pretty faded now. All the lettering and the design and stuff. Casino Guitars have bought one of their t-shirts. Wear it very regularly because it's very comfortable and very nice and very cool. And people comment on it and like, I subscribe to your channel because you're wearing a Casino Guitars shirt. It's like, that's a weird thing to subscribe to me for, but at the same time, they the shirt was great. So my point being, they have everything covered. Their t-shirts are great. Their guitar content is great. And what I like about YouTube when I watch YouTube is I don't agree with everything that like Casino Guitars say. You know, about different guitars they've enjoyed or things that they've done or whatever. But I like their content. I like that they're able to give their opinion and be straight up with it. Um, so yeah, that's definitely though something that I like about them. They're just straight up honest guys, and they do their best to help people as well. The most recent video I watched of theirs was talking about scams online and buying guitars and how to protect yourself when if you're selling or buying guitars. So love them. They're great. And yeah, Robert, look, eventually I'm going to start reaching out. My thought process was that like around 5,000 subscribers, I can start reaching out to people and be like, hey, I have a bit of an audience. Would you like to come and chat to me about guitars? And we'll see. We'll see. So hopefully that'll be something. John Robson, is that the Scottish guy? I think it is. Yeah, he makes some nice guitar videos. Again, straightforward, down to earth. He tends to buy his own materials that he's reviewing, so that's cool. Let's see, Scott, what's my favorite guitar case? Tweed, Fenders, Chainsaw, Cali Girl. If I could make a guitar come in any case whatsoever, when I bought it, I do love the Chainsaw cases, straight out. I think they're fantastic. Have to buy one at some point. The 2015 Gibson spaceship cases, the gold ones, I think are fantastic. And honestly, as I said earlier, like I'll buy a 2015 for the case, because I just think they're great. And Fender have done some really nice ones lately, like different colors. They did that seafoam green one, and that was cool. And that's it. Those two, seafoam green one, maybe there's a nice blue one. But guys, I'm gonna have to wrap it up here on the live stream for tonight. And the reason being, my camera is telling me that it's about to run out of battery, and I do not have a cable to plug it in because it got damaged. So look, we'll have to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for joining me, everyone who has joined. Don't forget that I'll be popping out a video tomorrow. We'll have some links from Marcia and probably, if I can find one, from Joey as well. Joey, feel free to email me as well if there's information I can add to that video. And guys, thank you very much for joining me. It has been a pleasure. As it always is, honestly, we've got a great community going here. I love it. I'll see you again definitely next Saturday for another live stream. New video out tomorrow evening and then maybe Wednesday as well. So thanks again. I will chat to you very soon. Scott, I hope you got my answer to your question there. Chainsaw case, probably 2015 Gibson Spaceship, and a blue, deep blue, or a seafoam green Fender, because I'm a bit weird. Anyway, guys, take care of yourselves and I'll talk to you soon. But in the meantime, don't forget that we're going to have that video tomorrow and all the links and stuff will be there. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.